Hello, I'm Frontani, the Scar Ghost. Today I want to make a tutorial for you to show how it is the just released SDK of the nReal glasses, how you can use Unity also to test your applications inside the editor now that the glasses has not been released in the market yet. And also I will give you my impressions on the current status of the SDK and the emulator. So this is a guide on how to get started with nReal SDK 1.1, and I hope you will enjoy it, so follow me. So the first thing that we have to do to start experimenting with the SDK of nReal is going to this page. It is the Android Quick Start page on nReal website that will guide you on the first steps and the prerequisites that you have to start using this SDK. It is quite standard requirements for every kind of development for Android devices. So you will need to use Unity with Android build support. You will have to download the SDK of nReal, and you will have to have the Android SDK and the various Android SDKs, especially the 7.0, installed on your machine. So where you can find Unity? You can find the links here in this page that I will link you in the description of the video. But just to give you a quick overview, you can find Unity on unity3d.com, that will come unity.com. You can get started. Then you can choose personal if you just want to experiment with Unity, so get started for free. You can say that you are a new user or an experienced user, and you can agree with these conditions if you are staying that, because you can use Unity only if you for free, only if you don't earn more than $100,000 every year. And then this way it can install Unity Hub, to which you can install actually Unity. Otherwise you can just click on products, go to, for instance, the latest release, select the latest version of Unity, also other kind of versions that are also available on the website, because you can also download previous versions. To use Unreal, you need at least Unity 2018.2. Personally, I still use Unity 2018.3.6. I've seen that SDK works, so you don't have necessarily to stick with the versions that is written here. For the Unreal SDK, you can find it by clicking on this link on developer.unreal.ai/download. Later on I will show you how to download it. Before even downloading it, you have to install Android Studio. Not because you have to own Android Studio, that is the IDE, the IDE that Google provides us to develop Android native applications. But through Android Studio, you get to install the various Android SDKs. So your computer gets configured to be able to develop for Android devices. And Unreal is a glass that works by being connected with Android devices like an Android phone. So be sure to download Android Studio and to install it. I won't go into many details in how to actually install Unity Android Studio. The process is quite straightforward. After you have installed Android Studio, you have to also install the dedicated SDK in the SDK manager. So now I'm running Android Studio on my PC to show you where you can find it. And be sure that, so here you have Tools, Android, SDK Manager. And here you have to select Android 7.0 to use Unreal. So remember, in Android Studio you can find in Tools, Android, SDK Manager, the SDK that you have on your PC to create Android applications. When you have to install Unity, one last thing is that when you actually launch Installer, it will ask you what kind of platforms you want to develop for, and be sure to select Android support. So not only PC and standalone, but also Android support. If you forget this part, you have to install it later on. Someone told me that if you install Unity and you don't have the Android SDK installed, it is possible that the installer will ask you to actually, the Unity installer will actually ask you to also install the Android SDK. So it is possible that Unity nowadays also installs the Android SDKs, downloaded it from Google servers. Honestly, I'm not verified it, also because I always install the Android SDK when I format my PC, so I don't know, but someone told me this. So try installing Unity first, maybe, and if it doesn't install you the Android SDK, go on downloading also Android Studio. So this is for the prerequisites just to be able to use the nReal SDK that we have to download. So how to download the nReal SDK? As I showed you, you just have to go to developer nReal.ai and /download. You can find the 1.1 beta that is being just released, and it is very interesting because there is the emulator. One thing that I didn't get immediately is that apart from agreeing to the both terms and conditions and select the latest version, in this page, I will provide the link in the description of the video, of course. You will also have to be logged in to be able to download the SDK. Otherwise, you see the button, you press it, and you can download it. How to do that? I will show you in incognito mode page where I'm not logged in. There is this icon here, you press it. You can press sign up and you write your name, your email, and it will ask you some questions about you as a developer, what are your preferred platforms, and so on. After you have logged in, you can return to the page or download the SDK, this one, and you can click download, and it will give you a folder, zip the folder, you have to unzip it, and then inside it you will find a Unity package. So now we have installed Unity, we installed the Android SDK, and we have the nReal package. So let's see how to get started with it, how it is the SDK, how is the emulator. Okay, so first step, let's start launching Unity. Here you are some projects like Marvelous Hit Motion Reloaded. Let's create a new project, nReal Magic Test. Let's give it this name, create project. And Unity will do its boring stuff and then it will get started. Okay, so this is the typical Unity 2018 interface. For this video, I suppose that you already know something about Unity. If you don't know, these are the main windows of the Unity interface. Here you can see the 3D elements of your scene. Here you can see the game in action. Here there are the elements inside your scene, in this moment the camera and the light. Here you have the various folders of the project, because every Unity project is a big folder. And here you have the inspector where you can actually modify the various stuff, adding features, change the properties of the various objects, and so on. So how to get started? Let's start by importing the nReal package. So I'll go to Assets, Import Package, Custom Package. You go to the folder where you have downloaded the package and you select it. So open. It will take some time to examine the content, then you hit import. And you will see that it will import all the content inside the assets folder in a subfolder all dedicated to nReal SDK. And personally, I love this approach, so it's more clean. I know that the plugin of nReal is only one folder, and it doesn't mess with the other folders that I've created in this project. So the importing in my PC is pretty fast. So here you are on our SDK. So how it is this SDK? Well, it is organized pretty well. As you can see, there are various folders with everyone with the relative material. So it's tidy. The organization is tidy. I love it. And there are already out-of-box demos that you can try to see how it is a program for Unreal. There is also an emulator that we'll see briefly. So you can also already test your application inside the editor even if you don't have the glass. And it's great for us developers. Also, if you have the glass, it's great, as I will show you later on. All this stuff is pretty cool, pretty tidy. The folders are pretty self-explanatory, so materials as materials, models as models, and so on. And what I've noticed by examining it a bit better is that actually there are also some little problems. It's still a beta, so it is something that honestly doesn't surprise me. But I have to show you, for instance, something a bit strange. If I run this demo application, for instance, there are lots of exceptions. I don't know why, but it is what happens. Then if you open some files like, I don't know, tracking image example controller, this one, it's a bit weird that I find copyright file Google, but namespace are kernel. Other funny things, I found some references to nr debugger with a missing G, Unity Dator instead of Unity Editor. So there are these little problems. I found in other file the comments are not in the style of C#, but in style of Javadoc or something similar. So no, doesn't sound good. And also I find it, I will show you. It's, for instance, on the nr camera capture. This is pretty weird for a C# application. What I find incredibly fun is the copyright with SDKs distributed in the hope that it will be useful. I I hope it will be useful for us developers as well. So it's a bit funny, but apart from these details, I guess will be fixed in future updates and can give us a little laugh. As I said, the SDK seems organized well, and the building blocks also seem pretty good. The prefabs and such. There are some things that have to be changed, listening to the feedbacks of us developers, but it's beta. The device is not out, so it's part of the game. As a developer myself, I won't blame someone for some problems in the beta, so it's a good SDK. So how to get started? Well, you can start, for instance, examining the hello MR scene, and we're going to create something similar. But yeah, I will show you what we're going to do. So let's go to scene and sample scene because Unity has created a sample scene for us. Let's delete the main camera. And so type here, no, let's go to nr SDK. Let's go to prefabs and nr camera rig. So importing the nr camera rig, we are telling Unity do not use the standard camera, but use this camera that is exactly made for the Unreal glasses. And then we have also to import the nr input prefab that I'm importing by dragging it from this window to this one, from the project to the hierarchy window. nr input is useful to be able to analyze and use the input from the headset and the controller. So now we have this, and what else can we do? Well, we can check an image and add a cube, because I love making first tutorials with a cube on it. So let's go to the emulator prefabs folder and use nr trackable image target. So what does this do? It does make the glass detect an image. In this case, this nReal image that you can see here. You can also choose other ones on this drop down menu. So I like the nReal city image, and the system will detect if it sees or doesn't see the image, and we show some objects will get activated and positioned depending on this image. If you are already into AR, we're talking about marker-based augmented reality. For the markerless AR, you can use the plain target. So if you see, it is added in the editor in the scene window, this image. So because we have now an image target, and we want to show a cube on this image. So let's make a cube, a simple cube like this. We can leave it where it is, but we can also hit the right key of the mouse and tap reset. And let's modify the scale to make it a bit smaller. So 0.25 is okay. And now we can have to make the code to connect the dots. So let's make another game object. Sorry, I was too fast. So with the right key, create empty, and we have created the game object. For the cube, I hit the key and 3D object cube. So game object, we can add a component that has already been made by them to make a test. Trackable found test. It is called this way. You connect the observer, that is this one, because it is the one that observes the target, with the object that is connected with the marker, in this case the cube. So we drag the cube here. So if we look inside this file, we can see that it's just a test file. So actually there are also some little errors, like events that are added and never removed. There is only one object that can be attached to the marker and so on, but it can be a starting point. So I avoid writing the same code myself. As you can see, it takes in the start, it connects to the event of the event to the events of the trackable, the one that tracks the marker. And when it finds a marker, it calls this method. When it loses the tracking, it calls this method. In the lost, we deactivate the cube. So when the glass will not see the image, the cube will disappear. When it will be found, we just match the position and the rotation of the cube to the one of the marker. And then we set the cube to visible. So this code is quite simple. And we are able also to try it soon. But since I've used the code that was already ready in the market, I just want to add also a little feature myself. So how about making the cube that changes color when we press the trigger of the controller of the nReal glasses? So I want to assign a random color to the cube whenever the trigger gets pressed. So we just add the update method to this script, and then we tell the script to take the object, change the color that is made by get component, renderer. We get the renderer, we get the main material of the object, and we set the color by a new color that is completely random. So it's quite easy. But we want this to be executed only when the trigger gets pressed. So we use the nReal input here. If we have to add using nr kernel, that is the namespace of most of Unreal classes. So Visual Studio gives me this error and I correct it automatically. So I use get button down. If nr input get button down controller button punto dot trigger, then we change the color. So I made this little program. Before testing it, there is another one thing to do. So we have to set the properties of the project so that to match the one required by Unreal. You can find them always on the quick start for Android page that I already linked you. But in any case, I will show you. So we can make file build settings. First of all, I forgot this, sorry. We have to switch to Android platform. So select Android, switch platform. And we let it re-import everything for Android. So maybe next time it's better to do this when you start creating for Unreal, not at the end, but it's the same for Unity. Okay, now that it has finished, you can add the current scene to the build scenes and delete this one. And then you have to go to player settings, remove multi-threaded rendering, set your company name, new technology workers, the name of the product, nReal Magic Test, remove multi-threaded rendering, setting the package name as you want. This will be the identifier of your application or device. Unreal Magic Test. Don't leave it as default because it's very bad practice that will not build. Android 4.4 as minimum API, target API 7.0. So this is something that is required. Then you have to go to install location, provide permission, external SD card. Install location for external is not necessary, but by permission external SD card it is. And then you have to go to edit, project settings. In the quality tab, you have to go vsync count here in the end, don't sync. Close. Okay, now the project is ready. If we had the Unreal Glass, we could connect it to not the glasses, but the device that will run the glasses, so your smartphone or your dev kit, your little computational unit of the dev kit, connect it to the PC, make build and run and see your application running. Since we don't have an Unreal Glass, we can try the game in the emulator. So personally, I'm a big fan of emulators because they let me try the software I create also for devices that I don't have, like in this case for Unreal Glasses. But also they are very interesting because the build times, the deploy times on Android devices are very big. So we developers don't like to deploy every time to try every little modifications because it's a very big waste of time. And it's better to try everything on PC on the editor. It's much faster. But how you can try Unreal, so a device where you can move in space in the editor? Well, it's all magic. If you hit play and the emulation started, it's a bit like what happens with HoloLens actually. Here you can see the emulation of the controller and here the emulations of the scene. So look here to see what happens. If I press the WASD keys, I will move in space actually. So this is what happens. I'm simulating that I'm moving in space with the glasses. If I hit space and I move the mouse, I'm simulating that I'm rotating my head. So space and mouse movement. If I hit mouse movement, I'm moving the controller. Here you can see how I'm moving it. And then I can also simulate key presses. So with this, the left button of the mouse, I simulate the main trigger of the controller. With the right button, the lower one, and with the scroll wheel button, I will select the upper button. So I can simulate all the buttons. I can also emulate the swipes by pressing the arrow key. So left key, up key, right, down. So I'm really emulating everything of the device, the position in space, the controller, and the action on the controller. So I showed you how the emulator works and continue to make this testing. So let's see how it tracks well. So let's tilt my head down. Let me show you how it is the camera. So let's go back, and we finally see the image target. It's not very easy to control it, as you can see from the emulator, but it's pretty standard, so it's not easy to understand a 3D position in this way. Maybe it's needed some more keys to move the camera up and down, because this way it's difficult. But as you can see, I have the marker. Where it is, the cube? The cube is here. So it's not in the position that we expected, and it's quite a bug in the script that I've taken from the sample. We'll show you how to fix it. I leave the error on purpose. But I will show you, look at the upper part of the window that the script on the controller works. So left button, as you can see, it changed the color. So why does it not work good? The answer is that it seems that at the moment you get the inverse of the position. So you get the position of the camera relative to the marker, not the position of actually the script in the of the marker relative to the camera. So you get the inverse of what you need. You can also see it with the rotation. I rotate the marker in this way, and when the camera sees the cube, you see that it's rotation in the opposite way. So how we can fix it? Let's return to our script. And actually, position is opposite of pose. For the rotation, we take the inverse of the quaternion. Let's save the script. Let's return here, and now everything should work. Let's hope so, because it's my reputation. And as you can see, now the cube is in the right position, because I put it actually in the center of the cube where is the marker. If you want to see it on top of the marker, we have various tricks that we can do. I will do the fastest of them. So I know that it's big 25, so I will just add a new vector of this way. So I want to show you that I'm just doing something fast. So to make something better, you have actually to combine, to make everything more usable. Not that if you change the scale here, it doesn't work later on. That is a fast way to make you see how everything works. Now let me go up, and you can see that the cube is in the position that we want it to be. I'm just navigating it, and if I press the trigger, it changes color. So I can move and it stays here. So we have developed our first nReal application for Unity. So I hope you get the main concept, that you have to add these 3 prefabs if you want to develop marker AR, and then adding a script that will give you the results of the trackable observer and assign it to the objects of the scene. So then, if you had the glasses, you could build everything, because now it works, build and run. and you can see everything on the nReal glasses. And so that's it for today. As I've said, I think that the nReal SDK has potential, has been organized in a good way, but there are also many things that are to be fixed to make it truly usable. I really appreciate the feature of the emulator because it let me experiment very fast. So that's it for today. I really hope that you want to experiment with nReal development as well. In case, just let me know what you're going to do because I'm very curious. Thanks for watching. If you like this video and what to do, follow me on my blog www.scargos.com. Share this video with your community. Subscribe to my channel, of course, so I will continue making these crazy tutorials, and sustain me on Patreon because I need money so to buy the AR glasses. So thanks for watching. I wish you a wonderful day, wonderful development with nReal AR glasses. Goodbye.